Welcome back to the Unbreakable podcast, a journey of healing and hope. I'm your host, Christy, here with Lee and
Crackhead.
Maybe he won't fly off this time. Just like last week's video, I started the podcast off with a little video of Lee and his beloved Mo. So continuing with that trend, enjoy this video of Mo demanding some beer.
Have more.
So in last week's video, I talked about kind of the early days at home and adjusting to life. And in this week's episode, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the extended recovery and the mental health implications. And I'm pretty sure this episode is going to be the last in this particular podcast. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to have some guests in the future, but as far as my story, I feel like this is a great place to end, because by the end of this episode, we will be caught up until I started here on YouTube, and you guys can just watch the videos. Okay, so sorry for the interruption, but I just had to pop in and apologize for the obnoxious audio of us bumping the table and the microphones. I will remember that for next time. Okay, back to the video. One thing I just remembered as we were getting set up to film this episode, I always open up my photo album on my computer so I have some references while I'm talking, and I ran across this picture right here. This was the first time that I drove after my accident, and it was unintentional. I think we had came home from something, and you asked me if I wanted to drive down the driveway, and I was like, yes, please. Except I didn't stop at the driveway. Yeah. I kept going.
Took a right turn and hammered down.
I kept going, and you can't tell in this picture right here, but in this picture, I was bawling my eyes out with
and with a great big grin.
I was overwhelmed with emotion, and I've learned throughout this recovery, for me, driving is freedom. And when driving got taken away from me, I didn't realize the impact that it had until I got to drive for the first time. And that's kind of the theme of this video. Leah and I were talking earlier about how that whole year was 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, with multiple surgeries. And then I would have to recover, and then another surgery and a recovery. So each time, or I would make all this progress, and then I would have a surgery and be set back, and I wasn't able to drive, or wasn't able to move around like I wanted to. And that got really frustrating. In fact, there is an episode on here. I will try to link it, although I'm not entirely sure which video it is right now, but I think it was after my knee surgery. I got on YouTube and I was just talking to y'all like I always do, and I admitted in that video that I was struggling because I was back in a wheelchair, and all the progress I had gained, I felt like was taken away from me. Even if it was temporary, it was still difficult. And I only wanted to say all that because that is something to be aware of in your own recovery or situation if you're a caregiver.
I would like to interject
I
something
know, I can
here.
tell you wanted to say something.
Not to be negative or make her worry more or anything like that, but one of the biggest things I struggle with is the fact that she does enjoy being able to drive again and go where she wants to go and live her life. My hands sweat every time she gets in the car because one teenager texting, not paying attention, one person distracted by something going on in her car and run into her from behind at a red light. She's not only paralyzed, but she's most likely gone. And it's that simple, and life is that fragile now. And I have to deal with that so that she can be able to live her life and be happy. But I mean, just talking about it makes my hands sweat.
Is it something that you think about a lot?
Every time you leave the house.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just that simple. I mean, those little accidents happen all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And your neck won't handle it. She had been home for months before I'd let her get in the car, whether I was driving or she was driving, without putting her collar on.
Yeah, I had Dr. Godzik told me I didn't have to wear that collar anymore, and every time we got in the car, Lee would make me put it back on. But
it might not even help, but it made me feel better.
I hate that he struggles with that. I, on the other hand, don't really think about it. Maybe I should be thinking about it, but
it's probably best you don't.
Yeah,
but I can't get past it.
Yeah, I will. And that's odd how much my personality has changed, because that would be something I would, before I would work. I don't know. I used to be so much more of a worrywart, and now I'm like completely opposite.
You have a life to live and you're living it. And
Yeah.
that's great. But I panic every time you get in the car.
Yeah.
Even when I'm driving,
Which sucks too, because before my accident, we would always kind of fuss over, like, I just didn't want to, like, if we were going somewhere, I wanted him to drive. I don't know why, but there was just something about being the passenger princess that I enjoyed. But now it's not been, like, I want to drive everywhere. I lost the ability to drive, and now that I have it back, I hang tightly on to that privilege. I love to drive now. I volunteer to drive everywhere. I
Only
don't
problem
know.
for me with that is you always want to go in your car, and I love my truck so much, and you won't drive my truck.
Yeah, if I'm driving, though, I don't want to drive his
I
big
know.
truck. But I just can't express enough. It really does, I admit, it sounds silly, but ever since the accident and everything that happened, I really like to drive. You know, I feel like it's that interview of the Alabama player that hates Tennessee.
Yeah. That's so funny.
All right, man. Just say what you've been saying, man. Why do you hate Tennessee?
Man, I hate Tennessee because, first of all, it's Tennessee. And I just hate them because they low down, they dirty, they some snitches. And I hate Philip Farmer. I hate their colors. I'm not a dog person. I just hate Tennessee, man. Like, and I hate Neyland Stadium. It looks like a garbage truck worker convention. And I hate all their quarterbacks. I hate Tennessee, man.
Describe what you feel about their colors, too. I thought that was interesting.
It reminds me, and it's not that orange that you can stand. See, I hate Tennessee more than I hate Auburn. I just dislike Auburn. I hate Tennessee. See, Tennessee's colors is that throw-up orange. It's not that orange that you can sit with. It's that puke inside of a pumpkin orange. And I don't like pumpkins. So I really don't like Tennessee, man. I can't stress that enough, man. And they losers. They sore losers because they're not Alabama, and I hate Tennessee, man.
That was beautiful, man. Probably the best interview I've done all year. Thank you, man.
Man, I can't stress that enough. I hate them boys.
I kind of feel like that guy, though, talking about how much he hates Tennessee. That's how much I love driving. I'm very passionate about it. And the other thing I thought of, and actually I hadn't even thought about it, but I was on the phone with my sister the other day, and she asked me how I was doing, and I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, it's fall, the weather's changing, the leaves are changing, how are you feeling? And it dawned on me that this time last year, I was really struggling. The closer it got to fall, and like the closer my environment changed to how it was when I had that accident, I was in a funk about it.
Because that's part of the reason y'all were riding that day was to see the leaves changing.
Yeah, I was. So last year, I just throughout the fall season, I struggled with that a lot, and I think I talked about that with you guys as well. But this year, fortunately, it had not even really crossed my mind, other than the 2-year anniversary of October 8th is quickly approaching. And I feel like after the 2-year anniversary, I have a sense of closure regarding doing this podcast and just processing everything in the way that I have. And I feel like for the 2-year anniversary, I'm going to wrap it all up in a box and tie it with a pretty little bow and set it to the side for a bit.
And we're going that week,
Back
taking
to
the camper to Cheehaw.
Yeah, we enjoyed this last camping trip at Cheehaw so much. We're going back next week, and then we're going to Unicoi State Park in Helen, Georgia in November. So we are living life and planning exciting things. I hate that he is now the worrywart. I am no longer a worrywart. But lots of exciting things coming up. Well, I say lots of exciting things, but what I really mean is I have no idea where my YouTube channel is going to go from here. I've got some exciting ideas, things I would like to do, but we will see how that pans out. I had a really good idea that I got last night while I was partaking and thought I was a genius, but I woke up this morning and saw the holes in that.
It was still a good thought. It really was. It was a great thought.
It just had some
it
holes
could
in
backfire, yes.
So
It could go wrong.
I will keep you posted on that. So I really wanted this last episode in this little podcast series to end where I started on YouTube and you guys found me. And I never in a million years thought I would be sitting here with a microphone putting videos out on YouTube, but it just kind of dawned on me one day everything that had happened and the statistics of everything that should have gone not in my favor going. I just that all up. I know that it's not the same for everybody as it was for me. It's each of our journeys and stories is wildly different from one another. But as I've said repeatedly over the last couple of podcasts, once I got put on Cymbalta, I really did an about face as far as my mental health goes. Now, there were some setbacks, but nothing major, just bouts of depression when I would be recovering from another surgery and I couldn't drive, or in fact, I have a funny story about that. After one of my surgeries on my right foot, I had to wear a boot on my right foot. Well, I still had physical therapy and stuff to go to, and Lee had to work, and so I would drive myself.
And put the boot on in the parking lot when you got there.
No. Oh, it was worse than that. I left the boot on, but I would tuck my right leg up and I would cross my left leg over my right leg and push the gas with like the tip of my big toe. Like it was precarious. I should not have done that. And I got in trouble every time I showed up at PT because they would say, "Who drove you?" And I would say, "I did." So, but I had to go. A girl had to go to therapy. Okay. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I was fortunate that I kind of had like a little personality change, I would say. I talked about this in the last episode where I used to be a little pessimistic, and now I'm
Highly optimistic. But I'm grateful, and I think I don't see how your personality can't change in one way or another after something like that. But I just had a new appreciation for life, and that sounds so cliche and so cookie cutter stupid, but it was the truth. I went through it with you, and I mean, I don't see it as cliche. All I say is now we understand, because it is a life-altering experience. I was thinking about it today. Just as a matter of fact, what we were talking about a while ago about gifts and things like that. Just sitting on the porch together today, that is a gift now.
Our anniversary's coming up.
Yeah,
we were
birthdays,
talking about
anniversaries,
that.
things like that. That doesn't matter anymore. It's the little things that are make it worthwhile.
He asked me about a anniversary gift, and I was like, I'm past the point of wanting or needing any kind of gift for a birthday or anniversary. I would rather, if you're out and about and you see something and you think of me, just do it for no reason. But I don't need a gift because it's our anniversary, and I don't need a gift because it's my birthday. I just want to spend time together.
And that's what we've done most of the day today, is sit on the porch.
The weather is really nice right now. We have been sitting on the porch all day fighting with Mo. I did get a question recently from someone inquiring about, well, why don't I just become a 911 dispatcher? Because I have the skills from my time as a paramedic. But first of all, I can't just sit in a chair for 8 hours in front of a computer. My neck can't handle that. But the other reason, because I have thought about that, but now that I'm not in that environment anymore, like, there is zero desire to be involved in any way in anybody's emergency. I am enjoying the peace of not being constantly in the middle of something horrible. So
I would like to add to that too, because at the fire department we used to do our own dispatching. I have some experience with what our dispatchers go through, and I would not want you doing that. People don't realize what our dispatchers go through. They are on the phone with the immediate families, and they are listening to these disasters unfold. And all they can do is listen and forward that information to us, and a lot of times never have any idea how it turned out. I would not want you to take on that mental burden. I don't know how any of our dispatchers do it long term.
I don't know how they do it either, because I'm the type of person, as y'all have seen through these podcasts, and you already know, I have to, it's not that I'm nosy, it's just I need closure on things. And I'm not good at like running a call and then having no idea how it turned out. And that's like a dispatcher, that's all they handle the emergency, and they have no idea what happened. So I appreciate the sentiment, and I appreciate all that our dispatchers do. I'm just not, I just don't want to, and that's okay.
I wish the world had a better understanding of our dispatchers and what they go through, because that's a handful.
Well, that's like one of the, when somebody's talking to us about, you know, being a paramedic, and, oh, that must be so hard. You must see so many things. And my response to that a lot of it has been, yeah, it's hard, but when I showed up on a call and somebody, even if it's a kid, even if they were already gone, there's nothing you can do. You at least have some like peace that there's nothing you can do, so you don't wrestle with it as much. In my case, the ones that I wrestled with were the ones that you knew where they were headed, but they weren't there yet, and you were having to watch it, and it just, I hope that makes sense and didn't come across as, it's more mentally hard to fight the inevitable than it is to accept what is laying in front
Already
of you.
done, yes.
Right.
Yeah. But the long and short of that is, even if you were able to sit in a chair for 8 hours, I don't want you dispatching.
No, well, I don't. I'm comfortable with saying that I really don't have any desire to be involved in any way in any emergency ever again, and I really don't feel guilty saying that. I have peace with it. I feel like I served my time. I did some good things, and I'm ready to put that away and enjoy what we have, enjoy our stupid goats, this stupid bird,
Crackhead.
and our stupid kids. I'm just kidding.
Our kids are about the only thing normal around here. And they're actually not normal, and they don't act like teenagers.
To all of my channel members, I have not forgotten about you. I am calling the company is called Gigafy about my fiber optic internet every single week, and they're literally 2 blocks from me. They've just got to run some cable, and any day now I'm gonna have my fiber optic internet. We can live stream. We can. Oh, I'm so excited! I have so many ideas. I love commentary videos, and I kind of want to do some commentary videos. I've got some ideas about some crochet related videos. I've got some ideas about bringing on other people to interview. I have a lot of ideas. I think maybe I have too many ideas, and that might be my problem going forward. Is I just want to do a lot of different things, but I love that this channel has become my little baby that
I think you're boring the crackhead. He's yawning.
I don't care. I love that this channel has become like my little baby and a little community, and I just appreciate you guys so much. And if you would like to become a member, please check the description for a link. Very, very soon we are going to be doing a lot of live streaming, and I'm so excited. But if you're wondering what's next after this podcast, join the crowd, because I don't know either, but we're going to go there together. Y'all have a great weekend, and I will see you soon.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
I just wanted to let you know